Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're starting a brand new series where we rank all of Ash's Pokemon teams. So the way this will work is I'll go through each Pokemon from worst to best in my opinion. If a Pokemon was a part of Ash's team for any time period during this region, then it will be included on the list. And also I'm going to be including the Orange Islands in this video, as it wouldn't be worth making a whole video just for Lapras and Snorlax. However, I will be doing a separate Johto team video, so please like the video if you want to see that. But I will be ranking the Pokemon based on how well I think they did in this specific region. So for example, Pikachu, he might be higher in some regions than others. It's all about the region themselves that I'm ranking. So with all that said, I hope you enjoy and let's get started. Number 13 is Raticate. I probably don't have to explain this one too much. Ash owned this thing for like 5 minutes, but technically it was a part of his Kanto team. He called out to battle one time before instantly regretting trading Butterfree away. Number 12 is Primeape. Although I love this Pokemon, I'm still very salty to this day that Ash left it with this boxing champ. I can't rank it any higher as it barely did anything. It had 2 great episodes which were both its capture and release episodes with nothing in between. Ash had a great chance to use it against Erica, but he decided against it as he didn't think he'd be able to control it. Overall, a great Pokemon, but not much worth in this team. Number 11 is Ash's 30 Rampaging Tauros. I feel like these Pokemon have become pretty iconic amongst Ash Lab Pokemon. We often see them running around whenever Ash visits the lab. However, they barely did anything during Kanto and the Orange Islands. They had no battle action in Kanto, but they did come in handy in the Orange League battle against Drake and put in quite a shift, but still not all that important to Ash's Kanto team. Number 10 is Muck, another iconic lab Pokemon. Muck played a pretty similar role to Tauros, however the roles were reversed as Muck did compete in the Kanto Pokemon League against Jeanette Fisher, where it played a massive role in taking down her Bellsprout and sending Ash to the 5th round, as he was stuck on how to defeat it without Muck. For that alone it deserves to be above the others, but after that it didn't do too much. Unlike Tauros, it didn't compete in the Orange League. Coming in number 9 is Kingler. Caught as a tiny little Krabby early on in Ash's journey, Krabby didn't reappear until the Pokemon League began, with Ash calling on it to face Mandy on the water-type battlefield, and we all know what happened from there. It managed to take down all 3 of Mandy's Pokemon on its own. It was an impressive win, but unfortunately after this it didn't really do anything else. But I think it was an iconic win in Ash's first ever Kanto Pokemon League battle, so that makes it important. Coming in number 8 is Snorlax. It pains me to put Snorlax so low on this list, but it didn't really do anything. You could argue it should be lower. It had some great moments and episodes dedicated to it, like when Ash broke its Pokeball and they had to somehow lift it over a whole mountain. But in terms of its value to Ash's team in the Orange Islands, it didn't do all that much. It was a huge capture and it certainly comes back later to do a lot of damage, but it didn't even compete in the final battle in the Orange League, which was really weird. Coming in number 7 is Lapras. I've given Lapras a lot of stick in the past because it was used more as a way of getting around rather than a battler and a value to Ash's team. But I've got to give it credit because without Lapras, Ash wouldn't have been able to travel around the Orange Islands as quick as they did. Also, the first Orange Island gym battle, Lapras was actually needed, as Ash needed a water Pokemon that he could ride on, so he would have been stuck without it. And unlike Snorlax, Lapras actually did compete in the final Orange League battle versus Drake. Sure, it could have done a bit more, but at least it battled. So overall, I love Lapras. I do wish it got to stick around for a bit more and do more, but its role on Ash's Orange Islands team was a good one. In number 6 is Pidgeot, Ash's first regional bird. It has a lot to love about it. It's an iconic Pokemon, but it's also got some problems. I thought number 6 was the best choice to rank Pidgeot, as it was reliable. It didn't really have any standout episodes or development episodes, but it was always there for Ash whenever he needed a hand or a Team Rocket balloon bursted. It had its fair share of battles, got a few decent wins for Ash, so overall it was a solid part of his team. Of course it could have been way better and done a lot more, and its release was ridiculous. But it's still Ash's original bird, so we've got to give it some respect. Number 5 is Ash's Butterfree. Ash's Butterfree may be slightly higher than it should be, but this is Ash's first ever Pokemon that he caught. He shared a huge bond with this Pokemon in the few episodes that they had together. As a Metapod, Ash made a few mistakes and left it behind against a Beedrill, and it was a big moment that led him to learning to look after his Pokemon. And Ash learned that lesson with Metapod evolving into Butterfree to save Ash and forgive him. They just shared a great bond, and of course I would have preferred if he didn't release it so early on. But even with that, it's still such an important Pokemon for Ash's journey and as a whole, and that's why it's so high. Coming in 4th place is Squirtle. Ash's firefighting Squirtle, an iconic Pokemon with the shades on, one of Ash's 4 starters and loyal Pokemon until the end. Squirtle had the least moments to shine out of the other 3 above in my opinion, but it still got many satisfying moments to watch, although it didn't have much gym battling in Kanto. That was made up for in the Orange Island, where it learned Hydro Pump and got a great win against Rudy's Starmie. But even without the Kanto gyms, it was still a crucial part of Ash's team and helped out in many adventures and episodes. Coming in 3rd place is Charizard. So you're probably shocked that Charizard isn't number 1. Well, I would have loved to put it at number 1, but it didn't quite make sense for me, as we're only covering the Kanto and the Orange Island. If we were covering Johto as well, then yeah, it probably could be number 1. But Charizard didn't start obeying Ash until late on in the Orange Islands, so it didn't get much time to shine here. But it's still all the way up in 3rd because it still had some great moments as a Charmander, such as winning against Koga's Golbat, and then even when it did evolve into Charizard, it had a great battle with Blaine and Magmar. And then when it learned to obey Ash in the Orange Islands, we got a double battle for Ash's final badge. Charizard, whether it's a Charmander, Charmeleon or a disobedient Charizard, it was always important for Ash, even losing Ash the Indigo League. And I know everyone hates that battle and that moment, but it was an important lesson for Ash. You can't send out a Pokemon that hasn't been trained properly, which honestly makes Charizard an even more important team member for Ash. So overall, Charizard was crucial to Ash's journey through Kanto and the Orange Islands. Number 2 is Ash's Bulbasaur. Ash's Bulbasaur is so important to Ash and his journey. I feel like he has the closest bond with it, other than Pikachu of course. And even in Kanto, it was such a father figure to Ash's team. It was like an older brother to Squirtle. I felt like whenever Ash was really in a tough situation, he would rely on Bulbasaur. And it shows Bulbasaur got quite a lot of wins in Kanto, such as the battle against Erika's Tangela and Aya's Venonat. It even had its own focus episode where it was ready to evolve, but it just didn't want it. It didn't want to be forced into doing this thing just because everyone else was doing it. It showed its determination and pride. Bulbasaur was just a reliable Pokemon for Ash, and it rarely let him down. I was slightly disappointed with its Kanto League performance, but it wasn't that big of a deal as it had a lot of other moments to shine too. So Bulbasaur is in 2nd place, only behind the one and only. Coming in 1st place is Pikachu. I was really back and forth on Bulbasaur and Pikachu, but this is Pikachu's series. This is where it all began for him and Ash. The bond was built in this first region, so don't expect Pikachu to be top on every list, but for this one it felt right. It had countless moments where we saw its importance. The battle with Surge, learning to overcome the fact that it hadn't evolved, was the first amazing focused episode. It had its own focus episode where Ash nearly left it behind, but then it chose to stay with him, which made their bond even stronger. And then it went on to have some more important battles like beating Blaine's Rhydon, beating Drake's Dragonite, which is no small task, and then even battling Gary's Eevee right at the end despite losing. Pikachu was Ash's go-to in the Kanto region and Orange Islands, so this is an obvious pick for me. Charizard might be seen as Ash's ace for these regions, but it didn't obey Ash for most of the time, so Pikachu takes the number 1 spot on this list as Ash's best Kanto Pokemon. Let me know who your favourite member of this team is, or who do you think the most important member is, because that's really what this ranking is about: who carries the team, who is the MVP. Please like the video if you want to see Ash's Johto team ranked, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.